With us now is a guest that has been on my show before. It is Damien Pelicone. Welcome, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Donna.
We met one beautiful, I was going to say sunny day. It was sunny. It was in January, but it was sunny in Miami. And since then, your brand has grown tremendously. You started it just two people, right, in a small apartment. So tell us about the growth of your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually started it with four people.
Okay.
I'm one of four equal co-founders. Aaliyah J. Daniels, our COO, and one of our co-founders, LaShawn McGee, our Chief Product Officer, and one of our co-founders, and Christopher Rodriguez, another co-founder who is also my partner of 13 years. The four of us got together in my living room in November of 2015. That's when actually this entire idea kind of came to fruition. And I pitched them this concept of an LGBTQ network that is solely based in digital and streaming. And we just, we're off to the races, so they say.
Things have just been so fabulous for you. It's like one OTT network and then another and another and another. You've got sponsors that are just wanting to help and celebrate you. And then recently, you had a really fun event on Sunday night. What did you put together?
Yeah, Sunday was amazing. So, Sunday, we have a festival that we do every year. We've decided very early on that we would not do like multiple screenings and releases, that we would just focus it into, one big core weekend. And so that was called QueerX. And it's now, we just celebrated our 5th year of the festival. This year, of course, traditionally we would have done it in Los Angeles. We, in the last couple of years, bought out the London Hotel. We bought out the Whiskey and had our musical performances there. Flaunt Magazine calls us the Queer South by Southwest. Which is exactly what we were aiming for, a festival that celebrates film and music and culture, because our culture is so new and so rich. And this year, of course, COVID hit, and we had to reimagine what the opportunity would look like for QueerX to live in a virtual world. So we did 3 big components. The first big pivot for us was we turned the festival into a FAST channel, FAST being free ad-supported TV. So it's a linear channel that you can find right now on any of the Reverie apps, direct-to-consumer apps, or on watch.reverie.tv. And if you go to the live section, it lives as a linear live television network. And it's a pop-up channel that we'll have only for the month of October, which is also LGBTQ History Month. So we thought it was a really good tie-in. But more importantly, on Sunday, October 11th, that was National Coming Out Day. That's a big pillar for our community. So the great thing was, outside of having this FAST channel where we had all of our panels now virtually and all of our screenings now virtually, and different conversation series, we decided to we always have an award show, the Reverie Visibility Awards, and we turned that into kind of our big evening event. And that evening event lived on all of our apps and channels, not even just our direct-to-consumer, but even all of our third parties. So, it was available on Samsung TV Plus, it was available on Stir Sinclair, it was on Zumo, it was on TiVo, all the different operators that we syndicate our channels to. And it was internationally even, with like folks like Plex. And you could watch our 2.5-hour variety and award show, where we had musical performances from big talent like Vincent and Shia Diamond, and Rob B, Heartthrob Rob, some really amazing new musical acts. But more importantly, we made it obviously very political, and the theme was Rise Up. Obviously, we're only 3 weeks away from the elections. And, as a platform and a network that is very vocally in support of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we wanted to make sure that we reflected that in Sunday evening show. So we went and had influencers give political, speeches like Blossom Brown and Amber's Closet. We had messages from Jennifer Lopez, and we were lucky enough to have a just under 3-minute video from Vice President Biden himself, which I had the honor of introducing. This video, he spoke to the audience, the LGBTQ audience, about his plan for what he will do moving forward if elected president for our communities. So this was a tremendous moment, very proud moment for our network, for myself, and obviously for the movement as a whole. We all pray and hope that Joe Biden is elected come November 3rd, and I encourage anyone who's watching this to consider your vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for real change in the White House that we are desperately in need of. I'll quote him just briefly. He talked about being an ally of the light as opposed to the darkness. And I encourage you to watch the video. It's completely free. It's on our apps and channels as QueerX Live.
And by the time, because we're taping this, but by the time this airs, we will know who the president is.
Oh, wow.
But this is going to be such a great conversation. I love your passion. I always loved your passion. And for you, what are you hoping to do during the next 4 years? Where do you see Reverie going? One thing I want to mention to you is the fact that I'm so impressed with the fact that your content can air in countries where the community is not supported, right? So that to me is amazing. So kudos on that, because that's a big, exciting thing in the world that you're able to do that. So congrats on that. But where do you see yourself in 4 years? What's your 4-year campaign going to be on, Damien?
Love that. I'm starting my political career right now on your show, Donna.
Okay.
Eventually I'll run for like Mayor of Palm Springs or something in 10 years. Look, with Reverie, it's continuing to have impact in terms of representation for our community and our culture, not just domestically, but globally. I think one of the most important things that I am very honored by is the fact that we are a global brand and a global experience. We've been downloaded in over 130 countries. And like you were mentioning, a lot of which, or a handful of which, it's still illegal and can be punishable by death for being openly LGBTQ. We take it for granted living here in the United States, our rights, even though they are on the line right now, with this election. And hopefully by the time folks are watching this, we'll be in a more positive position. But look, they are watching us internationally because they want the access to see themselves reflected. I have been lucky enough to have messages from kids in Saudi Arabia, kids in Russia, China, just so many far-reaching parts of this planet where, their access to see a trans music artist, a lesbian comedy, an Afro-Latino a film is very limited because, let's face it, with YouTube, it's very user-generated, it's very vlog-heavy. We're not looking at necessarily like big productions or, shows that are scripted and produced. And with Netflix, they're blocked because they're such big entities in those territories. They have to follow certain restrictions in terms of their programming. We don't, or at least we haven't been restricted yet. We're not big enough in those territories to really be, a nuisance, so to speak. One day I hope that we will be a nuisance, and that we'll be challenging those, laws in terms of representation and what is allowed to be on programming. Even with our Samsung TV, and I'll give you a great example, with Samsung TV Plus, they're a huge partner of ours. We're so honored to be on Samsung TV Plus, but, they are a very conservative brand. And, when you're dealing with international territories, what we say is brand safety here in the United States is very different than what you would find in certain, Asian countries. The laws are a lot more strict, especially in the Middle East, where it's a Muslim country. And so we had to edit our content in those international distribution territories to be more of a TV PG experience. For the fact that, we still need to exist. And once we exist, that's breaking down a barrier, right?
Yes,
so how many
absolutely.
barriers can we break down by existing on these conservative platforms or these more conservative providers just by being the first in those territories? We're about to announce a partnership with Viacom 18 in India, which I am most excited about. I've been working on personally since June of last year when I went to Mumbai. And Viacom 18 is such a major operator there. It's like saying, it's like saying AT&T or, Verizon or Viacom. Well, it is Viacom. But they operate in all of SAARC, the South Asian kind of region. So it's not just India, it's Pakistan, it's Afghanistan, it's Maldives, it's Sri Lanka. And again, a lot of these countries, it is still illegal to be LGBTQ, but yet Reverie is going to exist with a major operator very soon, come Q1 of 2021. That's mission, that's impact in terms of a social opportunity and a social responsibility that we are creating and we are having on a global level.
You just make me smile. You just do.
I've done my job today. I made you just make smile. I've done my job.
You just made me smile. You made me smile. Thank you so much, as always. I look forward to seeing you in the three-dimensional world. And until then, we're going to be talking in this way, I guess, for now. Stay safe, stay positive, stay joyful. Big hugs to you and all that you're doing and all the people around the world that you're helping. My best to you. Okay. Bye-bye. Take care, my friend. Be well.